Good afternoon. Welcome. My name is Mike Smith. I'm Dean of the School of Government, and we're thrilled to have you with us for this forum, whether you're with us in Chapel Hill or whether you are with us from another location. We're pleased that you've been able to join us. I'm going to say a few words about the School of Government's mission and its connection to environmental finance. Our mission is to improve the lives of North Carolinians by building great communities. Now, we're the School of Government, and that means that the way in which we try to do that is by working with government to help it become more efficient and more effective. Good government is not the end for us. It's important, but it's one means to a much higher end, and that is great communities for our citizens. Good government is not, this may be heresy for the dean of a school of government to say, but good government by itself is not what gets me out of bed in the morning. It's not the passion. It's partnering with government officials to actually create better lives, partnering with them to create better communities. That's what it's all about for me and for folks here at the School of Government. And I don't think you can have great communities without great government systems, law enforcement, courts, public health, education, and many others. And I don't mean that to be a partisan ideological statement at all. I'm not arguing for big government. We don't have a position on the size of government at the school. Those decisions are made by elected and appointed officials. Whatever policy officials' decisions those officials make about government's role in building great communities, our job here at the school is to work with them to make government as efficient, as effective as possible. And that mission hadn't changed in 80 years. That doesn't mean we haven't changed. It means that mission has been our focus for over 80 years. What changes continuously is how we carry out that mission. Government officials have asked us to do all sorts of new and different things over the years: community economic development, public technology. Environmental finance is another critically important component in building great communities. I mean, if you think about the role of government, it makes perfect sense for the Environmental Finance Center to be an integral part of the School of Government here at Carolina. This is an audience that knows about the role of government in environmental management, especially in deciding how our citizens are going to pay for it, how those costs will be allocated. You're going to hear a lot of views this afternoon about elements of environmental finance, but my guess is that virtually all of them will recognize some strong connection and link to government. Our revenues, as citizens, government revenues, directly fund many governmental services, whether it's water, solid waste, stormwater management, and on and on. And government policies, whether it's tax policy, economic development, public health, all play a role in shaping environmental programs and services, including, again, how costs for those services are divided among our citizens. So when it comes to great communities, environmental finance is a key component of making those communities great. And I'm really proud that the Environmental Finance Center for the last 15 years has been a component here and a program here at the School of Government. It's been able to draw on a wide range of our other faculty who've contributed their expertise as well. But as the environmental challenges facing North Carolina and beyond become more complicated and in some ways more expensive, I think our Environmental Finance Center's role will become even more important, and I'm confident that they're up to the challenge. Jeff Hughes has provided and continues to provide excellent leadership as director of the EFC, and his first-rate staff is really amazing. They're a model, I think, of both innovation and collaboration all at the same time. In fact, they sort of reflect the way in which public administration has increasingly become more of a multidisciplinary activity. We have engineers, finance experts, and public administration generalists. I'm especially proud that a number of our EFC staff are graduates of our own MPA program, which I might objectively call the best MPA program in the world. I'm just saying. And the other thing that the EFC does that I really think is great is they really give our students a number of opportunities to be involved in working on real-world problems and developing really important experience and learning all at the same time. We can't have great communities, I think, without thoughtful models for how we're going to finance our environmental programs. I think those two things are linked together inextricably. The school and our Environmental Finance Center will continue supporting government officials in trying to make that happen. I'm really pleased that you're with us this afternoon for this forum. I think it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to hear what the speakers have to say. Thanks to all of you, the speakers particularly, for joining us and everyone else for being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean Smith. My name's Jeff Hughes. I'm a faculty at the School of Government and the director of the School of Government's Environmental Finance Center. Greetings to those in the audience and those joining us remotely. Special greetings and welcome to our distinguished group of speakers today that are going to share with you some exciting views on environmental finance. These folks are really among the rock stars of environmental finance. So if you didn't know there was rock stars in environmental finance, you can come look at these guys. Today's event is the public portion of a 2-day event that we've scheduled with this group to really give our center a chance to reflect. We've been around for about 15 years. We hope to be around for at least 15 more years, and we're going to use this event and the event we have with our group tomorrow to really understand better the challenges and potential strategies involving environmental finance moving forward. Before I pass the podium over to the speakers, I just wanted to make a few opening remarks to frame our discussion. First off, it might be helpful to talk about what we mean by the term environmental finance. Environmental finance is a term that means something different to different disciplines, to different organizations. It's a very broad term. For us and for this program, we really keep one question in mind when we think of environmental finance, and that's the environmental how do you pay for its center. That's really what we are all about at the Environmental Finance Center is how do you pay for community problems, how do you pay for the things that are going to be required to build the strong community that Mike referred to. Consider some of the environmental efforts that we are facing as a state or a country. Whether it's dealing with the unwanted byproducts of energy generation, such as air emissions, coal ash, whether it's protecting water supply and habitat by working with a community to purchase land around a reservoir, whether it's constructing a new wastewater treatment plant, whether it's working at the household level with a low-income renter that needs a new septic tank or wants to insulate their house to reduce the energy use of their house. Think of all of those issues, and you don't have to think very hard or work on those issues very long before the how to pay question comes up. How to pay is really at the central part of a lot of our environmental finance challenges, environmental management challenges. The Environmental Finance Center and at UNC and our sister environmental finance centers from around the country have been working on these issues for over a decade. Each of our 10 environmental finance centers has a unique perspective and a unique set of skills. For our group here at University of North Carolina, we focus on a suite of integrated services that includes applied research, education and outreach, and program design and delivery. We work across environmental media. We have projects linked to reducing environmental impacts of energy production and waste disposal, funding essential environmental services, such as drinking water, protecting and restoring land and water resources. Since I've started here, we've worked on financing state regulatory programs, financing oyster recycling programs, financing statewide conservation programs, financing septic system programs, solar programs in schools, you name it, we've worked on some aspect of it, and it's all gotten at the end to be about how you're going to pay for those services. It's very appropriate that we're in this venue today. This room is named after longtime School of Government faculty member Jake Wicker. I had the great fortune to overlap with Jake for several years before he retired and eventually passed on. He was really one of the School of Government's all-time greats. He was a rock star at School of Government, although I think he liked bluegrass music. If there was an Environmental Finance Hall of Fame for North Carolina, he'd be in it. His work on areas such as taxes, intergovernmental collaboration, fees, still inspire me to this day. All the building blocks of environmental finance, he in some way researched it and wrote about it. But the thing that Jake said that has always stuck with the most is what he said about governments and what he said about how we pay for environmental services, how we pay for government services in general. Jake used to say that governments never pay for anything. Governments never pay for anything, which is in the environmental sector unusual because we're always debating about whether it's going to be the federal government or the state government or the local government, who's going to pay. But Jake's view was that governments just do the collecting, that it's the people that pay. It's you and me. It's a community, it's a neighborhood, it's an individual, it's a household. And that's really what we have used to frame our perspective on environmental finance. There are lots of ways you can get from the person who pays to the actual environmental objective. It can be very basic. You pay your taxes, and your trash gets picked up. Or it can be incredibly complicated. It can involve a myriad of taxes and fees, multiple governmental levels. You can have trading schemes involved. At the end of the day, there's lots of ways to get to the different environmental objective, but we're at the center of it, how we are going to pay. I think this afternoon you're going to hear lots of fascinating examples and thoughts about the mechanisms of getting us from here to there. What are the ways to move money? What are the ways to leverage funds? And I'm going to listen with bated breath to try to hear some of the exciting mechanisms. But I'm also going to keep in mind for each of these mechanisms, how does it impact the person that pays at the end of the day? And that's really what keeps us going at the Environmental Finance Center. Is it fair? Is it equitable? Is it efficient? Is it sustainable? And yes, for you lawyers in the audience, is it legal? The School of Government, they often focus on that. But that's really what keeps us going. So, putting all these pieces together, as Mike said, requires a lot of diverse skills. And I'm very pleased to be working at the Environmental Finance Center. We are not a bunch of accountants. We're not a bunch of economists. We're really a diverse group. And before we move on, I did just want to have a kind of call out to the staff here that really have made all of the work we do possible. We have engineers that work for us. You engineers, raise your hand. Don't be bashful. We have public administrators that work for us that are part of our team. We have generalists. We have environmental managers. We have program coordinators. We have a few attorneys that work for us. So again, thank you very much. And a special call out to our students. We could not do the work we do without our students. And especially for the students that are moving on, may your environmental finance future be bright. In an LED sort of way, none of those incandescent. So that's the end of my remarks. We're going to transition into the public forum portion of the day. I will say that we hope to get a lot of answers today. And we're going to be taking notes, you guys. No pressure, but we got a lot of problems in North Carolina. We want all the answers. But seriously, we're going to get some answers, but we also hope to get a lot of the questions. We're in the question answering business at the Environmental Finance Center. We really hope to be getting some good questions. We're not going to have time to pose every question in the audience or from the streaming audience to our speakers, but we will record all of the questions and we will answer those. We will make it our mission to answer those eventually. But for today's purposes, For those of you in the audience, you should all have comment and question cards in front of you. When you hear something that's provocative or something you agree with or disagree with or a question, jot down a question on that piece of paper, and we will come by and pick it up, and I will use those questions to pose questions to our panelists during the question and answer time. If you're remote, you'll be able to pose a question directly through the streaming software. And for those of you, like many of our younger students that have forgotten how to use a pen and paper, we have your social media needs covered. If you want to go and use Twitter, hashtag environmental finance, anybody, except not the speakers while you're speaking, then hashtag environmental finance, and we can record your questions that way. And we will use those questions to seed the discussion.